This is probably going to be extremely confusing for a lot of people because by the time you see this, we will be well into January. However, this is actually the first video I'm recording in 2026 by technicality. So I'm going to say it anyway. Happy New Year. I hope this year brings a lot of joy, a lot of fun, a lot of growth, a lot of understanding, and a lot of happy tears, like good emotions. Is that weird? I don't know. Regardless, though, it is currently 12:30 at night. It is 30 minutes after, and the fireworks are still going. And I'm sorting things out. There's a lot of things that I want to play, a lot of things that I want to talk about, right? But like I said, we are doing a more structured situation on this channel starting now, right? Or, well, it started last week for you guys. But I want to make sure to have something for you every day for this month. And hopefully we can continue that trend, right? But we'll see what happens. So for now, it is still Kingdom Hearts week. And as the title suggests, I wanted to talk about the possibility of Kingdom Hearts novels, right? Because here's my thing. I've been doing some reading this last year, more than I have since like high school. Right? The last 2 years, I've just been picking up more and more like books, as many as I can, right? Sometimes I don't have the time to read them like traditionally. Like I've been on my commutes to work and back, I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks and stuff like that. Recently, I read through Dungeon Crawler Carl. If a single person knows anything about that man, we're friends now, okay? Because Dungeon Crawler Carl is easily one of the best things I have ever heard in my life. I am in love with. I'm about to reread through the series before the next one drops. Dead ass, it's that serious. But that just goes to show, you know, I have a deep love for books. You know what I'm saying? I feel like personally, next to video games, books are the best form of media that has the least censorship and the most freedom to really tell the stories of every character, every emotion that they're feeling, the world that they're feeling it in, just fleshing out everything they possibly can. I feel like books have more opportunities than any other form of media to do everything it needs to do. And that's why I really, really appreciate books, right? So a while back, I actually made a video on my main channel talking about the possibility of Pokemon-based novels, right? Now, when it comes to Pokemon, I have a gut feeling that, you know, as much as I would like to read something like that, overall, I don't think it's something that might necessarily sell all that well. Because, like, A, we already have the mangas and stuff like that. B, I don't know. It's a tough sell for people with Pokemon, right? It's a very like small, I mean, Pokemon's not small by any means, but even with the Pokemon title on there, once people see that it's on a, you know, picture book, you know what I'm saying, a manga, they're not gonna, I don't know if they're gonna be willing to pick that up unless it's something really, really enticing. But I don't know. It could be really, really hit or miss when it comes to Pokemon. With something like Kingdom Hearts, I don't think that it's all that crazy, especially because I've had this book in my saved for a long time now, right? There is a book for Final Fantasy VII Remake called Traces of Two Pasts. It is essentially following the upbringing and just, you know, two different sides of Tifa and Aerith, right? It pretty much talks about the upbringing. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know everything about it, but I very much plan to, right? I think what I'm gonna do is, because I do plan to make a major, like, super crazy high quality Final Fantasy revisited video, right? And when I inevitably do that, I want to really truly understand Final Fantasy at its core. And I want to, you know, do everything surrounding that, including replaying fully the original Final Fantasy VII, as well as reading this, and possibly whatever else may surround that, because I'm sure there's more stuff that I'm missing in regards to that. I played Crisis Core, don't worry. But thinking about that, I was thinking about the possibility of something like that working for Kingdom Hearts, right? And when you think of something like, for example, right, there's already a part of me that would be astronomically okay with the possibility and idea of Union Cross or Missing Link becoming novels, right? Novels that follow a set, like, fleshed out character through the journeys and stories of Union Cross and Missing Link, so that way we don't have to lose these stories in any way, shape, or form, as like it shouldn't be treated as lost media, right? I mean, granted, thankfully, you know, throughout the years that Union Cross was a thing, we were able to get that story recorded and documented. It's pretty much everywhere on the internet now for the time being, so at least it's somewhere for people to be able to catch up on, because otherwise you would not be able to do so, right? But as in the form of a novel, it would be probably the most simplistic way of getting a better understanding of what's truly what's happening in these stories, if we were following an actual character and we had actual dialogue and events to read and understand what these characters were going through during those times, right? And in the case of Missing Link, we don't know how we're going to receive that story, and that's the biggest question mark we have right now. Right? Oh, I mean, obviously next to when the hell we're going to see anything else for Kingdom Hearts 4, but other than that, we know for a fact that Nomura and the team don't really like to waste stories. You know, those stories are very important to them, and they all like to interconnect in some way, shape, or form. Meaning, I can't imagine a situation where this little setback of them, you know, of Square Enix going through this crazy, like, mobile not rebranding per se, but like they went on a kick essentially, to cancel a lot of different unnecessary projects that they feel were pretty much going to be a waste of time in the long run. And I think Missing Link was unfortunately a part of that cut, right? Which all in all, totally fine, makes sense. But I don't think that the story needs to be lost because of that, right? And the thing about Kingdom Hearts fans, right? The thing I've noticed more about like the Square Enix fans is that they do pay attention. There are times, right, where they misinterpret information sometimes, or maybe they interpret it a very different way. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, they pay a lot of attention to these stories, right? To the point where, you know, as a Kingdom Hearts fan, I definitely agree that while trying to explain the story to somebody seems kind of insane, the story in of itself of Kingdom Hearts is actually not all that complicated. It just can't be simplified in a couple of words without something else needing to be explained next to it, right? Sometimes it could be a little ridiculous, a little... it's not absurd to say convoluted. I mean, there's a little bit of time travel involved, of course, but for the most part, it's not that hard to follow when you actually play through the games in order. You know what I'm saying? And if you're paying attention, you should be good. Which is why I don't think that it would be all that out there to utilize a novel to tell certain stories within the Kingdom Hearts universe, right? Specifically starting with Union Cross and Missing Link, I think those would be very, very good as novels, right? The story of... I mean, we don't have like a definitive name for our character, but their time in Daybreak Town, you know, what they were doing with their, I keep saying faction or guild, I completely forgot what they were called. I'm sure Editor Soul will fix up, or maybe he won't. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, you know, their time with their guild, their time with their leaders and stuff like that, what they were witnessing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, granted, it could also be a third-person situation in which we follow, like, the leaders in different scenarios and stuff like that. Because, again, as much as I love back cover, it doesn't really do that much in the long run, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like a novel could be the best way to flesh out that part of the story, right? And same with Missing Link, because they were introducing a lot of really neat concepts and things like that with a bunch of characters we had yet to meet, and it takes place just a little bit after Union Cross, and it's the one piece of the story, the Missing Link, that we just don't know that much about. And I feel like a novel would do a really good job in telling the stories of all of these unique little characters while following a distinct character to, you know, get a better understanding, right? Of course, you know, I'm sure a lot of people would definitely agree that a visual version of this media would be a lot better in some way, shape, or form. I'd hope we don't get a back cover situation where they just turn it into a movie. I think that would be really, really boring. And the other side of me doesn't believe that there's any realm in which that becomes like an MMO RPG, like Final Fantasy 14 or something like that, because they're not going to spend that kind of money on Kingdom Hearts like that, right? As much as I love Square Enix, it's not going to happen. right? Well, I can't say I love Square Enix. I just love that team, or certain teams within Square Enix. But regardless, I think a novel could do justice to that, right? However, that's not the only thing, right? I would love to see a novel for certain situations that we didn't delve as much into as we definitely could have, right? I would love to see, read a story, a novel based on the time with Lee, Aiza, and their third friend that went missing, right? The one that was taken, was it for experimentation? It's been a while since I've delved more into that story and stuff like that. I don't know, but I would love a novel fully dissecting that story, either Lee or Aiza's perspective on the situation. Pretty much any of the organization's original forms before they, turned into the organization or lost their hearts, as Zeniths claimed, would be pretty interesting, I think. Or hell, at the very least, if we're gonna skip Yuzora's story, you know what I'm saying? If we're not, granted, we might delve more into it in Kingdom Hearts 4, we're probably going to, but I think a novel really delving into Yuzora's story with his friends and everything that they went through could be a cool little bonus as a little individual story. You know what I'm saying? I think, something like a cool little title, and then the subtitle is a Kingdom Hearts story or something like that. I would just absolutely adore a situation like that, right? I don't know. I just think that there's so many different stories that are hidden or just untold within the Kingdom Hearts franchise. There's still, people are still crafting theories today to this point. You know what I'm saying? To the point where I feel like some novels could definitely help clear up some of those mysteries and things like that. If you're really heavily that invested into the world like we are, and you want to get more of that story, you want to get more of these characters, you want to learn more about the individuals like Xehanort, maybe Xehanort during his come up, you know what I'm saying? Maybe something on the Master of Masters, or even Luxu, maybe a novel about, the time Luxu spent in between, getting the box and, carrying out his mission. You know what I'm saying? There's so much we could do with the power of a novel. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy on that one. Maybe I'm insane for even suggesting something like that, because in reality, a novel seems unnecessary. But like I said in one of my previous videos, I don't really think that we're being dramatic when it comes to the dark ages of Kingdom Hearts and, not really having anything in between. The last piece of media that we got from Kingdom Hearts was all the way back in 2020 when we got Melody of Memory, and that has been completely it. After that, nothing tangible outside of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, which might not even be relevant anymore, and the screenshots, which are kind of looking dated still. So I don't think that it would be insane to introduce the possibility of novels into the mix and give us stories that we never got to delve as much into before. You know what I'm saying? Even stories of Ventus's come up, or any of the trio, the birth trio. I hate that I said that. I just forgot. I'm blanking on everything right now because, again, it's midnight and I don't feel like looking anything up. But the Birth by Sleep trio, Aqua's come up, Terra's come up, what their relationship is with Ericus and Xehanort and stuff like that, because the way they were treating their masters, they were all equals, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny to us now because Xehanort was so comically evil in Birth by Sleep. Anybody could look at that man and be like, oh no, that dude has issues. That old man trying to start something. It was so comically obvious to us, but to those characters, these two were almost father figures in a way. You know what I'm saying? They respected these two to the point where that's why it was so easy for Terra to get manipulated. And I feel like a real novel, exploring the come up of Terra, Ventus, and Aqua during that time period, before we got to the Mark of Mastery, that first initial Mark of Mastery exam, would be really, really interesting. Maybe that's just me because I love the character so much, but I don't know. Call it what you will, right? And, you know, maybe situations like what's going on, you know, in Kairi's head too. You know, I would love a Kairi-based novel, like her situation with the training, you know, how she ended up. Well, I mean, we know everything of how she ended up where she was in Kingdom Hearts 3, but for the most part, I would just love to see like a novel explaining Kairi's perspective on the entire thing. You know what I'm saying? Or Riku's perspective, even. I think that would be very interesting too. And I think more than anything, one of the most interesting novels that I could think of that I know people would definitely just absolutely ransack store shelves for would be the Demyx origins, right? Because we to this day still don't officially know almost anything about Demyx, right? We don't know anything about his original form, what his original name was. We don't know why he was the only one that wasn't manipulated completely, right? He was playing both sides from the beginning. And, you know, we obviously know that it's Lushu, or we know that Xigbar was Lushu. We've known that for a while now. So it's like, you know, what is Demyx's deal? You know, I think that's just so interesting that we have yet to truly delve even more into that and explore that. You know what I'm saying? Because Demyx is such an interesting character. You know, he's a real funny, just weird guy. You know, the little sitar dude with the bubbles. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's so weird. It's so weird. Maybe I'm the only one here, but I would for sure go out of my way to pick up some Kingdom Hearts novels, some true just stories regarding any of these characters. Like if I found a full novel in regards to, like, you know, the Lee saga or something, or the Axel saga, bro, I'm there. You got me. I am genuinely hooked in. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like the aftermath of like Hayner, Pence, and Olette, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. There's just so much that we could potentially explore with novels, and I don't think we should waste the opportunity while we're in this downtime. You know what I'm saying? People are clamoring for Kingdom Hearts. The kids yearn for the Kingdom of the Hearts. And I think some novels, I think that could be really good for our brains right now. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you know what? Maybe that's just me. So that just about does it for this one. I'm passing the mic over to you guys, and I want you guys to tell me everything that you're thinking in the comment section below. Do you agree that Kingdom Hearts novels could be really interesting? That's something that you could see yourself picking up, and you would love to see more stories about all of the more hidden aspects of Kingdom Hearts really brought into light through these novels and tell a different story? Or are you on the opposing side? You don't want to see books for Kingdom Hearts. You would rather have them as media, as a series or in a video game format of some way, shape, or form, and you don't want to see words on a page because that would put you to sleep. Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I'm always going to be down there with you guys. And with that, it does appear to be skedaddle o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and do just that. I'd like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm gone. So thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor, taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!